Captain Aaron Vale groaned as his eyes slowly opened. The world around him was a blur of colors, soft lights and strange shapes that seemed to float in the air. Pain shot through his left arm and leg, making him wince. He tried to sit up, but a wave of dizziness forced him back down. The crash had been severe. His ship, the Horizon, had been torn apart in the stormy atmosphere of an uncharted planet. Everything was strange here. The walls glimmered with a soft, bluish light, and the floor seemed to hum faintly beneath him. He blinked against the glow, trying to focus. The pain in his arm made him wince again. He could see a gash that was deep and bleeding slightly. But there was no time to worry. He needed help. A quiet hum grew louder, and then a figure appeared. It was unlike anything Aaron had ever seen. Tall, slender, and elegant, with translucent skin through which faint bioluminescent veins pulsed gently, the figure floated toward him. The being's eyes were large and luminous, holding an expression of calm attention. Its movements were smooth, precise, and graceful. Aaron tried to speak. Hello. I need help. His voice cracked from the pain. The figure tilted its head slightly and extended a hand, palm open. A small device floated near its wrist, emitting soft pulses of light that danced across Aaron's body. He could feel the warmth from the being's touch before it even made contact. When its fingers brushed lightly against his arm, he felt a strange combination of technology and empathy. The gash began to sting less, almost immediately. Then, something unusual happened. The alien froze, staring at his chest as if seeing something extraordinary. Aaron felt the tension in the air shift. He tried to ask what was wrong, but the being did not respond. Its eyes glowed brighter, and it slowly stepped back. Confused, Aaron attempted to sit up more fully, ignoring the pain. "What is it?" he asked, voice trembling. The alien tilted its head, then activated the device again. A faint holographic projection shimmered above him, showing his internal structure in intricate detail. And there, glowing faintly, was a mark on his chest. It was not a wound. It was not a scar. It was a pattern, circular and strange, pulsing with a subtle light. The alien's hand hovered in the air, not touching him this time. Its entire body seemed to radiate a mixture of awe and caution. Aaron's pulse quickened. He had never seen anything like this mark, and he had no idea where it had come from. He could feel it almost like it had a presence of its own, a faint warmth beneath his skin that seemed alive. The alien activated another device that projected symbols around the mark. Some of them moved, rearranging themselves in patterns that Aaron could not understand. He realized slowly that the being was trying to communicate something, but its language was entirely foreign. The sounds it made were melodic, almost musical, like soft chimes in the air. The alien pointed at the mark, then to a nearby wall where a holographic screen appeared. Aaron strained to focus on the images. The mark was resonant, the being seemed to say without words. It matched some energy patterns in the station. Something about him triggered the station's systems. The alien looked at him, then at the mark, then back at him again, its glowing eyes wide. "Wait, do you mean this is important?" Aaron asked, though he didn't expect a verbal answer. He watched as the being nodded slightly, a slow and deliberate motion. It then gestured for him to lie back. Hesitant but realizing he had no choice, Aaron obeyed. The alien led him to a small chamber, softly illuminated by the same gentle glow that filled the rest of the station. Inside, the walls seemed alive, shifting slightly as if breathing. Tubes of soft light ran along the floor and ceiling, pulsing in rhythm with the station's hum. The alien instructed him to lie down on a smooth surface that felt cooler than expected but comfortable. Aaron noticed small floating instruments beginning to hover near him. Each emitted tiny pulses of light, scanning his body in ways that felt gentle, almost soothing. The alien nurse's hand brushed lightly over his arm again, and he felt a wave of relief. The gash began to close slowly, as if the station itself was knitting the wound together, yet his eyes kept drifting back to the mark on his chest. It pulsed faintly, glowing in rhythm with the lights around him. Every time the alien touched near it, its body seemed to react, stiffening for a moment, before relaxing. Aaron realized that whatever this mark was, it was not ordinary. It was interacting with the station, and perhaps with the alien herself. Minutes passed. The alien continued to study him, observing the mark and his body. It finally activated a device that projected a map of the station. Symbols moved across it, converging near the chamber. Aaron could sense that this place was more than just a medical station. It was alive in some way, designed to heal, protect, and perhaps even communicate with beings who carried something special. He tried to move his fingers. Pain was fading, replaced by a strange, tingling warmth. His breathing became easier. He could feel his strength returning, though he still felt weak. The alien seemed to notice this improvement and paused. Its large eyes scanned him carefully, then it raised its hands and gently touched his chest over the mark. For a moment, Aaron expected the alien to react again, but nothing happened. The mark pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. The alien tilted its head in a slow nod, a gesture that felt almost like approval. Aaron wondered what the mark meant. Could it be some kind of ancient technology? Or was it something biological that had survived through generations? Finally, the alien produced a small handheld device. It projected symbols and images directly onto Aaron's retina. He could see scenes of other beings, of alien architecture, of light and energy flowing through veins and conduits. The images were like glimpses into a civilization far older and more advanced than humanity. His mark seemed to resonate with these images, pulsing in time with the movements of light and energy he saw. Aaron's mind raced. If this mark was connected to this technology, to this station, perhaps he was more important than he had ever realized. Perhaps he carried a key to knowledge that could help many, or even to understanding the aliens themselves. He swallowed, hard, trying to remain calm despite the surge of excitement and fear. The alien finally stepped back, giving Aaron space. Its glowing veins pulsed rhythmically, almost as if it were breathing alongside him. It gestured toward a console, indicating he should observe. Hesitant, Aaron watched as the holographic projection shifted, displaying information about his injuries, the mark, and the energy that flowed through him. He realized slowly that this station was not just a place to heal. It was alive, responsive, and aware. And his mark, whatever it was part of the system now. It responded to the alien nurse's touch, to the station's devices, and even to him. Aaron exhaled, finally relaxing a little. He did not know what awaited him here, but one thing was clear. He was no longer just a wounded captain stranded in space. He had become part of something larger, something that stretched beyond human understanding. The alien nurse hovered nearby, eyes bright and steady. Its hands occasionally moved, adjusting devices, monitoring him. And though it did not speak in words he could understand, Aaron felt a connection forming, a silent understanding between human and alien. For the first time since the crash, he allowed himself to hope. Perhaps this strange station, these strange beings, and even the mysterious mark on his chest could lead him not just to recovery, but to a discovery that would change everything. And as he drifted toward a restful sleep, the station hummed softly. Around him, its lights pulsing in gentle rhythm with the mark on his chest, as if whispering, "Welcome. You are not here by accident." Captain Aaron Vale woke to the gentle hum of the healing chamber. The soft blue light that had filled the room the night before now felt warmer, almost comforting. His body felt lighter, as if the deep pain from the crash had been lifted. His arm, once bleeding and swollen, looked almost normal, the gash neatly closed. The alien nurse, still nearby, observed him with calm attention, its glowing veins pulsing gently. Aaron sat up slowly, testing his strength. The mark on his chest glowed faintly, pulsing with the rhythm of the station's lights. He traced it with his fingers, feeling a warmth that seemed almost alive. Questions raced through his mind. What was this mark? Why did the alien nurse freeze when she first saw it? And why did it seem to interact with the station itself? The nurse extended a hand toward him, and a small holographic device floated into the air. Symbols appeared, swirling around the mark. Aaron watched closely. The pattern seemed to resonate with the mark's faint glow. He reached out tentatively, touching the holographic projection. As soon as he did, a sudden wave of images flashed in his mind. Buildings made of crystal, lights flowing like rivers, beings moving gracefully through halls filled with energy. He gasped, pulling back. The alien tilted its head as if asking, "Can you see it?" Aaron nodded slowly. He realized that the mark was not just a physical feature. It was somehow linked to this technology, perhaps even to the memories of the station itself. The nurse gestured for him to lie back down. Hesitant but trusting, Aaron obeyed. The chamber adjusted automatically, surrounding him with soft beams of light. The alien placed its hand lightly on his chest, over the mark. Immediately, the mark glowed brighter, sending a warmth through his body. For a moment, he felt a strange sense of clarity, as though he could sense the station's presence everywhere. A new projection appeared above him. It displayed a network of energy flows, connecting every room, every device, every moving part of the station. And at the center of it all was his mark, glowing in perfect synchronization. Aaron realized with awe that he was connected to the station, and that connection was making him feel stronger, faster, more alert. The alien's eyes brightened. It began moving its hands in precise motions, and the projection shifted, showing ancient symbols that Aaron could not understand. Yet somehow he felt their meaning. They spoke of healing, protection, and a network of knowledge preserved for beings like him, beings with special marks that resonated with energy. Aaron's mind raced. Could it be that his great-grandfather's expedition, the one he had heard stories about as a child, had brought him into contact with this technology long ago? Perhaps the mark was a legacy, passed down through generations, waiting for him to awaken it. The nurse paused, as if noticing his thoughts. Its hand hovered over the mark again, and Aaron felt a gentle pulse in response, like a heartbeat. A wave of understanding passed through him. This mark was not just a key to healing. It was a bridge. Through it, he could interact with the station, learn its secrets, and perhaps even communicate with the beings who had created it. Suddenly, a soft alarm sounded. The station's lights flickered, and the holographic map expanded. Aaron could see movement, small, shadowy shapes approaching the outer walls. The alien nurse's veins pulsed brighter, faster. It pointed to the map, then at him, indicating that he had a role to play. "Are these intruders?" Aaron asked, though he knew the being could not answer in words. The nurse gestured sharply toward the glowing paths of the station's energy, then back at him, signaling that he must use the mark's resonance to interact with the station. Taking a deep breath, Aaron extended his hand over the mark. The glow intensified, spreading through his chest and out along the station's energy paths. The holographic projections responded immediately. Doors sealed, lights brightened along corridors, and defensive systems powered up automatically. The alien nurse watched closely, guiding him with subtle hand motions. Aaron marveled at the experience. It was unlike anything he had ever encountered in human technology. The mark allowed him to merge his thoughts with the station's systems, creating a partnership between human ingenuity and alien design. Every movement of his mind sent ripples of energy across the holographic map, and he could see the intruder's progress in real time. The shadowy figures appeared on the screens as small, angular shapes moving toward the central hub. Aaron realized they were scavengers, humans or aliens he could not tell, seeking the station's advanced technology. If they breached it, the knowledge could be misused or destroyed. The weight of responsibility pressed heavily on him. The nurse touched his arm lightly as if reminding him to stay calm. He focused, feeling the mark pulse in response to his intentions. Doors sealed, energy barriers raised, and automated drones emerged from hidden chambers. Aaron guided them, moving silently through the network of defenses, his mind and the station acting as one. A sudden spike in the projection caught his attention, a breach near the lower levels. The intruders had found a weak point. Aaron concentrated, sending energy through the mark to reroute power and strengthen the barriers. The station responded instantly, sealing off the lower corridors. The intruders hesitated, confused by the sudden defenses. The nurse hovered near him, its glowing veins pulsing steadily. Aaron could sense a connection forming, not just with the station, but with this alien being. Together, they were a team, combining human intuition with alien precision. The feeling was exhilarating and strange at the same time. As the intruders retreated, Aaron took a moment to breathe. He looked down at the mark on his chest, now glowing softly in harmony with the station's hum. He realized that this mark was more than a legacy, it was a responsibility. It had chosen him, linking him to knowledge and power beyond human understanding. The nurse finally spoke, or at least it tried. Sounds flowed from its mouth, melodic and strange. A translation device projected words into Aaron's mind. You are resonant. The mark connects you to the station. Protect it. Learn. Heal. Aaron nodded, understanding perfectly. What does it mean, exactly? He asked aloud, though the words felt small compared to the vastness of the revelation. The alien gestured toward the holographic archives, showing him rooms filled with symbols, devices, and records that seemed to stretch back centuries. Aaron stepped closer, feeling a mixture of awe and determination. He realized that his journey had just begun. The crash had been more than an accident. It had been the start of something far larger than himself. The station, the alien nurse, the mark, they were all part of a network of knowledge and power that could change the course of his life, and perhaps the lives of many others. The nurse guided him to a central chamber filled with floating orbs of light. Each orb contained a piece of data, histories, medical knowledge, technology designs, and energy patterns. Aaron's mark pulsed in resonance with the orbs, allowing him to access the information as if it were an extension of his own mind. Hours passed, or perhaps it was minutes. Time seemed different inside the station. Aaron absorbed what he could, understanding that the alien technology was designed not only to heal but to educate and protect. The mark was a bridge, a key that allowed him to access this ancient knowledge safely. Finally, Aaron sat back, exhausted but exhilarated. The alien nurse hovered nearby, its glowing veins pulsing rhythmically, as if in quiet satisfaction. Aaron understood that they had only scratched the surface of the station's secrets, but he felt a sense of purpose he had never known before. The mark on his chest glowed softly, a reminder that he was now connected to something far greater than himself. He had survived the crash, discovered a new world, and unlocked a mysterious bond with an advanced alien civilization. But more challenges awaited. He knew the intruders were still out there, and the station's full potential was yet to be revealed. As he drifted into a cautious rest, he felt the alien nurse's hand lightly touch his shoulder. The touch was warm, reassuring, and full of trust. Aaron realized that in this strange station far from home, he had found not only allies, but also a chance to rise beyond the limits of humanity. The mark was his key, the station was his guide, and the path ahead was both dangerous and full of promise. For the first time in his life, Aaron Vale understood the true meaning of being resonant. Captain Aaron Vale woke to the soft hum of the healing chamber again. His body felt stronger than before. The gash in his arm had completely closed, and his muscles felt more energized. The strange mark on his chest glowed softly, in rhythm with the lights around him. He traced it with his fingers, feeling its warmth spread through his body. It was no ordinary mark. He had begun to understand that it held a secret, something powerful, something alive. The alien nurse hovered nearby, observing him closely. Its translucent skin glowed with bioluminescent veins pulsing gently as it monitored him. Aaron noticed that whenever the nurse's hand moved near the mark, it glowed a little brighter. He realized that the alien had been studying not just his injuries, but the mark itself. The being seemed both fascinated and cautious, as if unsure how to handle something so unique. Aaron sat up slowly, feeling fully aware of his surroundings. The chamber around him was unlike anything he had ever seen. The walls seemed to breathe softly, almost alive, and lines of light ran across the floor and ceiling, connecting different devices. Everything seemed to respond to the presence of the mark. He realized that the station itself was not just a building. It was an intelligent system designed to interact with certain life forms. The nurse extended a hand toward him and projected a new hologram. This one was different. It showed layers of his internal body, not just bones or muscles, but energy pathways that seemed to flow like rivers of light. At the center of these pathways was the mark, glowing brighter than ever. Aaron reached out, and as his fingers brushed the projection, a sudden clarity filled his mind. Images flashed before him, scenes of alien beings moving through halls of light and energy, working with devices that seemed alive. He saw glowing plants, machines that healed instantly, and energy flowing in patterns that reminded him of rivers, yet pulsed like blood. He realized these were visions of the station's creators, an ancient civilization that had mastered the combination of biology and technology. The nurse placed its hand lightly over the mark on his chest. This time, Aaron did not feel alarm or surprise. Instead, he felt a wave of calm energy spreading through his body. His mind felt sharper, his reflexes faster, and a strange warmth filled his chest. He understood the alien's intention. It was activating a process, a connection between him, the mark, and the station itself. Your mark, he thought aloud. It's more than a symbol. It's a key. The nurse tilted its head slightly, as if acknowledging that he understood. Its eyes glowed softly, and it moved its hand to gesture toward a central console in the chamber. A holographic map appeared, showing the station in 3 dimensions. Lines of energy ran throughout the entire structure, converging at a point near the chamber where Aaron lay. His mark pulsed in rhythm with these energy lines, as if communicating with the station. Aaron studied the map. The station was enormous, far larger than its visible structure suggested. Hidden chambers, corridors, and rooms were connected through energy conduits that he could see only because of the resonance of the mark. He realized that if he could understand this system, he could access knowledge and technology far beyond human understanding. The nurse moved closer and touched the holographic display. Symbols appeared, flowing across the map in patterns that seemed to respond to both the mark and the alien's touch. Aaron reached out instinctively, placing his hand over the projection. Immediately, he felt a surge of energy, as though his mind and body had become part of the station itself. Visions came again, this time clearer, longer, and more detailed. He saw medical techniques far beyond Earth's science, methods of energy, manipulation, and even records of civilizations healed and uplifted by this technology. He felt a connection to every room, every device, every living being that had interacted with the station. It was overwhelming, yet thrilling. As the visions faded, Aaron looked at the alien nurse. The being's eyes glowed brighter than before, and for the first time Aaron felt that they were communicating not just through devices but through understanding, through resonance. It was as if the nurse recognized that he was ready to learn, ready to explore, and ready to use the station's gifts responsibly. Suddenly, a soft alarm sounded, interrupting the quiet of the chamber. The lights flickered briefly, and a small panel on the wall projected a holographic readout. Aaron focused and saw movement on the outer perimeter of the station. Small ships, unlike anything from known human fleets, were approaching. They were angular, fast, and clearly designed for intrusions. The nurse reacted immediately, hovering near Aaron and gesturing toward the holographic map. Lines of energy shifted, defensive barriers activated, and doors throughout the station sealed, automatically. Aaron realized that the mark allowed him to interface with the station's systems. The alien nurse had been guiding him, teaching him without words, showing him that he could control the station's energy through the resonance of the mark. Adrenaline surged through him. He rose slowly from the chamber's platform, testing his renewed strength. The mark glowed brightly, responding to his heartbeat and intentions. Aaron understood that he could use the station's defenses, but also that he could manipulate its energy in ways the intruders could not anticipate. The alien nurse floated near him, its hand brushing over the mark lightly. The glow intensified, and Aaron felt a rush of clarity. He could sense the intruders' movements before they even appeared on the map. He realized that this connection was not only physical, it was mental, almost intuitive. The mark acted as a bridge, linking him, the station, and the alien nurse in a seamless network of awareness. He focused on the intruders. Their ships moved cautiously, sensing the barriers but unaware of the full extent of the station's intelligence. Aaron extended his hand, feeling the energy flow from his mark through the station's conduits. Doors shifted, energy shields rose, and drones emerged silently from hidden compartments. The intruders were caught off guard, forced to retreat temporarily, breathing. Heavily, Aaron lowered his hand. The nurse observed quietly, its glow steady. Aaron realized that this partnership was powerful. Alone, he might have been vulnerable, but together, with the mark, the station, and the alien nurse, they were formidable. The station was not just a building, it was an ally. The mark was not just a legacy, it was a gift. Aaron's thoughts drifted back to his ancestry. Perhaps this mark had been waiting for him, passed down unknowingly, waiting for a time when he could unlock its potential. It was as if the station had recognized him as the one capable of understanding its systems, learning its secrets, and protecting its knowledge. The nurse gestured toward a chamber deeper inside the station. Floating orbs of light guided the way. Aaron followed, feeling the mark resonate with each step. The chamber was filled with devices, books, and holographic records. Each contained information about healing, technology, and energy manipulation. Aaron reached out to touch one, and the mark pulsed in response, linking him directly to the knowledge contained within. He spent hours exploring the chamber, learning about energy pathways, medical techniques, and alien technology. The nurse hovered, nearby, guiding him silently. Whenever Aaron paused, the being would lightly touch his shoulder, encouraging him to continue. He felt a deep sense of trust forming between them. As the day passed, or perhaps it was night, time seemed different inside the station. Aaron realized the magnitude of what he had discovered. The station, the mark, and the alien nurse were all connected in a network designed for healing, learning, and protection. He was no longer just a wounded captain. He was part of something much larger, a system of knowledge and power that could change the course of civilizations. Finally, he rested in the chamber, exhausted but exhilarated. The mark pulsed softly on his chest, and the alien nurse floated nearby, its glowing veins rhythmic and calm. Aaron knew that challenges would come, intruders would return, and the secrets of the station were not meant for careless hands. But he also knew that he had the guidance, the connection, and the power to face them. For the first time since the crash, Aaron felt hope. He had survived, healed, and discovered a new purpose. The mark on his chest was a key. The station was a guide, and the alien nurse was an ally. Together they were ready to face whatever lay ahead. And as he closed his eyes, the station hummed around him, the mark glowing softly, as if whispering, "You are ready. The journey has only just begun." Captain Aaron Vale woke to the low hum of the station, alert and ready. The mark on his chest glowed faintly, pulsing in rhythm with the station's energy. He could feel the connection more clearly now, as if the station itself was aware of his thoughts and movements. The alien nurse hovered nearby, its translucent skin glowing with bioluminescent veins, calm yet alert. A warning signal flashed across the holographic display in the chamber. Aaron's eyes widened. Intruders were approaching again. This time, Their ships moved faster and with more determination. They were clearly not leaving without trying to take the station's secrets. He felt a surge of urgency, knowing that the safety of the station and perhaps knowledge that could help countless civilizations was in his hands. The nurse gestured toward the central map. Lines of energy from the station pulsed, highlighting vulnerable points in the structure. Aaron extended his hand over the mark, feeling the warmth flow through him and into the station. He focused, guiding the energy to strengthen the outer defenses. Doors shifted automatically. Energy barriers rose and defensive drones prepared to intercept. The intruders' ships moved cautiously, scanning the station for weak points. Aaron could sense their actions before the displays even showed them. The mark on his chest pulsed in response to his awareness, and he realized he could interact with the station almost like an extension of his own body. It was as if his thoughts became commands and the station obeyed instantly. He rose from the platform, feeling strength returning to his limbs. The alien nurse followed silently, hovering beside him. Its glowing veins pulsed steadily, synchronizing with the rhythm of the mark. Aaron realized that together, they formed a team. Human intuition guided by alien precision, empowered by technology far beyond anything he had ever imagined. The intruders finally launched a probe toward the station's lower corridors. Aaron's eyes followed its path on the holographic map. He extended his hand and energy flowed through the conduits, sealing doors and activating countermeasures. The probe was disabled before it could transmit any data back to the ships. He felt a thrill of satisfaction, but he knew this was only the beginning. "Can they breach it?" he asked silently, unsure if the nurse would respond. It floated closer, and for the first time he felt a subtle acknowledgement, a nod that conveyed understanding. The mark pulsed, as if affirming that he could do more. Aaron focused on the station's energy network. The mark responded instantly, sending pulses of power through corridors and defense systems. Holographic drones emerged from hidden chambers, forming defensive patterns around key points of entry. He realized that his mark not only allowed him to control the station, but also to anticipate intruder movements. The intruders shifted strategy, sending small boarding crafts toward the outer hull. Aaron's eyes widened as he observed their careful movements. They were trying to find a weak point in the station's defenses. He concentrated, feeling the mark respond. Energy shields shifted, closing off vulnerable areas while reinforcing critical systems. The intruders hesitated, clearly surprised by the speed and precision of the station's response. The alien nurse gestured toward the holographic display, indicating that there was a way to amplify the station's defensive power. Aaron placed his hand over the mark and concentrated. A surge of energy flowed from him through the station, activating dormant systems that had not been used for centuries. Lights pulsed along every corridor, and the drones moved with coordinated precision, creating an almost impenetrable barrier around the station. The intruders tried to force their way through, but the automated defenses were too strong. Shields deflected their energy weapons, and drones intercepted any attempt to breach the outer walls. Aaron felt a rush of exhilaration. The mark on his chest pulsed brightly, as if celebrating their success. Yet he knew the intruders would not give up easily. Suddenly, a section of the lower corridor flickered on the holographic map. Aaron's heart raced. The intruders had discovered a hidden maintenance shaft, a weak point that bypassed some of the station's primary defenses. He focused, feeling the mark respond to his urgency. Energy flowed rapidly through the station, closing the shaft and redirecting power to reinforce nearby systems. The intruder's attempt failed, and Aaron allowed himself a brief sigh of relief. The nurse moved closer, hovering near him. Its glowing veins pulsed in a slow, steady rhythm, providing reassurance. Aaron realized that the alien being was not just an observer, but a partner in this defense. Its guidance helped him focus, and together, they could respond faster than the intruders could anticipate. Hours passed in tense vigilance. Aaron learned to control the station more efficiently. Every touch of the mark allowed him to manipulate energy flows, activate defensive systems, and even communicate with the drones as if they were extensions of his own body. He began to understand the depth of the station's intelligence and how the mark acted as a bridge between human thought and alien technology. As the intruders continued their attempts, Aaron noticed a pattern. They were organized but predictable. He began to anticipate their strategies, redirecting defenses before they even reached critical points. The holographic map showed small energy pulses traveling from his mark to key junctions, reinforcing systems just in time. The alien nurse hovered nearby, occasionally touching the mark lightly to stabilize the energy flow. Finally, the intruders attempted a last desperate boarding maneuver. Their crafts approached the main chamber, hoping to seize the central console. Aaron's heart pounded. He placed both hands over the mark, sending a surge of energy through the station. Doors sealed automatically, energy shields flared, and drones intercepted the intruders' crafts with precision. The boarding attempt failed, and the intruders retreated, clearly realizing they could not penetrate the station. Aaron sank to the platform, exhausted but exhilarated. The alien nurse hovered beside him, its glowing veins pulsing gently, a silent acknowledgement of their success. He had faced a real threat and discovered the power of the mark, not just as a connection to the station, but as a tool to protect it and its knowledge. As he rested, he began to understand the full potential of his situation. The station, the alien nurse, and the mark formed a system far beyond human understanding. He was no longer just a survivor. He was a guardian, responsible for knowledge and technology that could change entire civilizations. The nurse gestured toward a chamber deeper in the station. Floating orbs of light guided the way. Aaron followed, feeling the mark resonate with each step. The chamber was filled with archives, holographic records, floating books, and energy devices. Each contained knowledge of healing, energy manipulation, and technology far beyond Earth's current understanding. He approached a glowing orb and touched it. The mark pulsed brightly, connecting him to the information within. He could see methods of energy control, techniques for healing, and records of civilizations that had been restored and uplifted. The alien nurse hovered nearby, guiding him, silently. Every touch of the mark expanded his understanding, and he realized that he was learning not just about technology, but about the principles behind it, wisdom meant to guide and protect. Hours passed, or perhaps it was longer. Time felt different inside the station. Aaron absorbed everything he could, guided by the nurse and the resonance of the mark. He understood that his journey was only beginning. The intruders would return, but he now possessed the knowledge and connection to defend the station more effectively than before. As he finally rested on a smooth platform, the alien nurse touched his shoulder lightly. The warmth from the touch and the pulsing mark filled him with calm assurance. He realized that he had found more than safety. He had found purpose. The station, the mark, and the alien nurse were all part of a network designed to empower and protect. He was now a vital part of it. Looking out through the chamber's transparent wall, he saw the stars beyond the station, each one representing a world that could benefit from the knowledge he now had access to. Aaron felt a surge of determination. He would not allow this technology to fall into careless hands. He would learn, understand, and defend it, alongside the alien nurse who had guided him through this awakening. The mark on his chest pulsed softly, in harmony with the station's hum. Aaron knew that the true test had only just begun. Intruders might come again, and challenges beyond human imagination awaited. But with the alien nurse, the station, and the mark guiding him, he was ready to face anything. For the first time since the crash, Aaron Vale felt the full weight of his purpose and the full potential of his connection to a power far beyond his world. The station hummed around him, alive with energy and knowledge, waiting for him to rise to the challenge. And as the stars twinkled outside, Aaron placed his hand over the mark, feeling the energy flow once more, whispering silently, "Guard, learn, protect. Your journey is only beginning." Captain Aaron Vale stood in the quiet chamber of the alien station. His hand rested on the glowing mark over his chest, and the hum of the station flowed through him like a heartbeat. Around him, the alien nurse hovered silently, its translucent, body glowing with calm light. The battle with the intruders had passed, but Aaron knew it was not the end. Something deeper was waiting, hidden within the heart of the station. He turned toward the nurse. "There's more, isn't there?" he asked. His voice echoed faintly. The alien nurse tilted slightly as though nodding. Its glowing veins pulsed in rhythm with his mark. Then, without words, it guided him toward a sealed door. The door was different from the others. Its surface shimmered. Like liquid light, and ancient symbols glowed faintly across it. Aaron reached out. The mark on his chest pulsed in answer. The door responded instantly, unraveling into waves of light that parted to reveal a vast chamber inside. He stepped in, eyes widening. The chamber stretched endlessly, filled with floating platforms of crystal and glowing archives that hovered in the air. But at the center was something greater, a massive core of energy, swirling like a living star, suspended within an intricate web of conduits. The energy pulsed gently, as though it were alive. Aaron felt his breath catch. He knew instantly that this was the true heart of the station. The nurse floated closer, its glow brighter now. With a gentle gesture, it indicated the core. The message was clear. This was what he was meant to see, and what he was meant to guard. Aaron stepped toward it, but as he did, the chamber shuddered. The holographic map appeared suddenly, displaying intruder ships regrouping. They had returned, this time with more power and determination. Aaron's jaw tightened. He knew they would not stop. They had seen the station's defenses, but now they were bringing their strongest fleet. If they breached the station, the core and all its knowledge would be lost or corrupted. The mark pulsed hot against his chest, and Aaron understood. The station was testing him. This was the final trial. He placed his hand firmly over the mark. Energy surged through him, more powerful than anything he had felt before. His mind expanded, connecting not just to the defenses, but to the entire station itself. He could sense every corridor, every drone, every system, as though they were his own body. The nurse floated beside him, touching his shoulder lightly. The warmth of its touch stabilized the rush of energy. Together, they faced the approaching storm. The intruder fleet drew closer. Aaron could sense their intent: greed, desperation, hunger for power. They launched waves of probes, weapons charged. The battle had begun. Aaron closed his eyes, letting the mark guide him. He redirected power through the conduits, raising shields across the station. Drones activated, swarming in formation, ready to intercept. The intruders fired energy blasts, but the shields absorbed them, glowing bright with each impact. Aaron felt the strain, but he pushed harder. The mark pulsed rapidly, feeding him strength. The nurse hovered at his side, sending calming waves of light that steadied his thoughts. The intruders tried again, sending smaller ships to slip past the defenses. Aaron responded instantly, sealing corridors, activating traps, and guiding drones, with precise commands. Every move felt natural, as though the station and he were one. But then, the intruders revealed their true weapon. A massive warship emerged from the shadows, larger than any Aaron had ever seen. Its core glowed with destructive energy. With a single shot, it could break through the station's shields. Aaron's heart pounded. He focused every ounce of strength into reinforcing the defenses, but he knew it would not be enough. The warship fired. The impact shook the entire station. Shields flared dangerously and lights dimmed. Aaron staggered, clutching his chest as the mark burned hot. He could feel the station weakening. The nurse floated quickly to him, placing its glowing hand gently on the mark. A rush of calm and strength flooded him. Together they steadied the energy. The station's hum returned, though weaker than before. Aaron understood. He could not win this battle with defense alone. He had to use the core, the heart of the station. He turned toward the swirling energy at the center of the chamber. His bowie mark pulsed brightly, calling to it. He stepped closer, raising his hand. The nurse hovered behind him, its glow steady, as if saying, "This is your path." Aaron touched the core. In an instant, his mind expanded beyond anything he had ever known. He could see not just the station, but the space around it, the stars, and even the fleet approaching. He felt connected to the energy of the universe itself. The core was not just a power source. It was a living intelligence, ancient and vast. The core spoke to him without words, through feelings and visions. It showed him countless civilizations that had once come here, guided by the same trial. It showed him the responsibility of the mark, to protect knowledge, to guard life, and to use power with wisdom. Aaron felt awe, but also determination. He understood now why he was chosen. The intruder fleet loomed closer, preparing their final strike. Aaron focused, channeling the core's energy through the mark. The station's conduits lit up with blinding brilliance. Drones moved like extensions of his will, intercepting enemy fire with perfect precision. The warship fired again, but this time, the core responded. A wave of pure energy pulsed outward from the station, washing over the battlefield. The intruder weapons flickered and died. Their ships lost control, drifting powerless in the void. Aaron gasped at the force of it, but he held steady, guided by the nurse and the core. The intruders, realizing they were defeated, turned and retreated into the darkness of space. Silence returned. Aaron fell to his knees, exhausted. The nurse floated beside him, its glow soft and reassuring. The core pulsed gently, as though approving of his choice. He had not destroyed the intruders. He had disarmed them, preserving life while protecting the station. The core recognized his wisdom and restraint. Slowly, the energy of the mark cooled, returning to a steady rhythm. Aaron rose to his feet, looking out through the transparent wall at the stars beyond. The station was safe. For now. The nurse guided him to the archives once more. As he touched the glowing orbs, knowledge flowed into him. Healing methods, ways to channel energy and secrets of civilizations long gone. But most importantly, he understood his role. He was no longer just a survivor or a soldier. He was a guardian of knowledge, chosen by the core, bonded by the mark, and guided by the alien nurse. He looked at the nurse. "I think I understand now," he said softly. "This isn't just about me. It's about what humanity can become, what we can learn, what we can protect." The nurse tilted its head, glowing brighter in silent agreement. Aaron placed his hand on the mark, feeling its steady warmth. The station's hum surrounded him, no longer foreign but familiar, like a heartbeat in harmony with his own. He smiled, faintly, a mixture of relief and determination. The journey ahead would be long. Other threats would come, and more trials would await. But he was ready. Humanity was ready. As the stars shone outside the station, Captain Aaron Vale stood tall, the alien nurse by his side, and the mark glowing brightly on his chest. He was no longer just a visitor in this place. He was its protector, its student, and its voice. And so began a new chapter, not of survival, but of guardianship, not of fear, but of hope. For in the vast silence of space, one human and one alien, Nurse had forged a bond that would echo across galaxies, carrying with it the promise of knowledge, protection, and a brighter future for all.